Good evening. I'm Norman Robinson, and welcome to Affordable Housing Matters. Mayor-elect LaToya Cantrell was supposed to join us this evening, but had to cancel due to a scheduling conflict. On tonight's show, we will have SBP Inc., formerly the St. Bernard Project, here to tell us about the housing options they are providing for individuals looking for homes and rentals in New Orleans. And later in the show, we will talk with a member of the Greater New Orleans Home Builders Association to discuss this year's Parade of Homes. We have a great show planned for you this evening, so please stay tuned.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
SBP provides affordable housing options by way of properties for sale and affordable rental programs. Here to tell us how the Opportunity Housing Program works is Ms. Delia King, Client Services Manager of SBP Inc. Hi.
Hello.
It's great to have you here on the program tonight.
Thanks so much.
So what is SBP Inc.?
So SBP Inc., formerly a lot of people know us from the St. Bernard Project, which is where we initially started out in 2006 in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. We started there in that community, helping them recover. So basically, SBP is a disaster recovery organization. Since then, we've moved on to Orleans Parish, and then, of course, there's other communities throughout the U.S. that we also help. More so recently, we've been in Houston as well as Puerto Rico. But here in New Orleans, we are focused on, again, disaster recovery and also providing affordable housing through for sale properties and affordable rental program.
So what is your greatest challenge?
The greatest challenge sometimes is funding. We do a lot of grants that we try to provide, but also a lot of our funds come from donations. So definitely need donations.
So you have a sustainable program?
Yes, we do. We've been able to figure out the formula on how we can basically shrink the time between disaster and recovery, as well as we're a heavy volunteer organization. So we use a lot of volunteers to help with a lot of the recovery, as well as we rely a lot on our donors and a lot of our partners. And then we've also received some grant funding from the city of New Orleans to help also aid in keeping us going.
So you're helping a number of people? You're able to help more than one or two people?
Correct.
That's good to know.
Yes, we have rebuilt over 700 homes.
Wow.
Since we have been in existence, and we're continuously building currently now. Again, that's also helping homeowners that have sustained damage by disasters, as well as we're also helping first-time home buyers. So that's really important to us. And we all know that in New Orleans, the rent has dramatically increased.
Tell me about it.
And so we have kind of worked out a program where we could also make rentals affordable as well.
So the houses that you have rebuilt, are they houses that you've gone in to renovate, or are they homes that you've gone in and constructed from ground up?
So we've done both. We have started, some of our clients didn't receive accurate funding or enough funding to repair their homes. A lot of our clients have also, have been victims of contractor fraud. And so sometimes some of the work that was done could be kind of like shoddy work. And so we've come in to really just help, mediate and really see what we can do to help get their house to a sustainable level. So we've helped renovate. We also have done full guts, done a lot of mold remediation. We're very keen in knowing how to mold remediate. as well as building homes from the ground up.
So I take it your major program, your major project is the Opportunity Housing Program.
Correct.
Okay.
So we have done a lot of opportunity housing where we provide first-time home buyers that are 120% area median income or below with affordable options to become homeowners. So again, we want to make sure that they're able to afford their home, that they're able to keep their home, maintain it, and then also giving them a really sustainable product.
So how do you go about qualifying or becoming eligible for this Opportunity Housing Program?
Okay, so you would just reach out to our organization. Of course, you can reach us at sbpusa.org, or you can call into our main office. We would show you the houses that we have in our inventory, and as long as you're under that income range, you could definitely qualify for one of our houses. Of course, it's, traditional lending. You'll have to, get a first mortgage, but we offer closing cost assistance, down payment assistance, and then also some resources. If you're not exactly ready at that time, we help, kind of get you mortgage ready.
Let's talk about numbers then.
Okay.
How does one qualify in the area of income resources?
Okay, so basically, if you are an average family of four, as long as you make under $79,950, you can qualify to purchase one of our houses. Some of our houses come with up to $10,000 worth of closing cost assistance. A lot of our houses, we've worked to really try to bridge those gaps. We work a lot with, if the city has funding, finding you programs that can give you some additional down payment assistance. We also offer new home warranties. So above and beyond the new construction warranty that's out there, we also give our clients warranties. And a lot of our houses come with all of the appliances included. So we know that that could be a really expensive purchase. So we're trying to make you as sustainable as possible, as well as putting in a lot of the energy efficient features so that you can have, low energy cost, low insurance rates by us elevating the homes. So whatever we can do to kind of make this definitely something that's affordable and sustainable.
So I'm listening to this program now, and I'm hearing you describe the opportunities that are there. Suppose I don't have the wherewithal in terms of the knowledge to go about procuring a home for myself or a rental for myself. Okay. What do I do?
So what do? You come into our office, you'll meet with either myself or one of my client services coordinators, and they're actually going to walk you through the process. So we don't just throw you to the wolves. We actually help guide you through the home buying process. We understand that it's very daunting and that if you're doing it for the first time, it's very foreign. So we work very closely with you to make sure that you understand what you're about to do, as well as we require that you go through homebuyer education.
So what does that mean when you say you're requiring me to go through homebuyer's education? So
there's a 12-hour course that's kind of, it's mandatory for you to kind of sit through this course, and it really breaks down what it is to become what it means to become a homeowner, how you maintain your home. It talks about your taxes and insurance and your yearly maintenance and, filing your homestead exemption. And it really breaks down all of the things that if you're just working with a traditional lender, they might not have time to really walk you through those things. I'm a certified housing counselor, so I kind of am able to delve a little bit deeper into your finances, looking at your credit, really telling you, hey, these are the things you might want to fix, making sure your ratios are correct, your front end, your back end, making sure you're not buying a house that you can't afford, and also really preaching sustainability. And it's long after you purchase a home with us, because yes, you're going to purchase a home, you're happy, and we're going to be gone, but really just impressing upon those behaviors of saving and making sure you have emergency funds. So that if something does happen, you're able to still keep your house.
Now, how are the financial lending institutions working with you? Do you find them amenable, or do you have to twist arms?
No, so we don't have to twist arms. That's good. And we really just work with the client, and it's dependent on their particular financial situation. Everyone's situation is not the same. Where one client is able to, go to one certain bank, we do use a lot of, community lending. That's a little less stringent than some of the other banks. And so we just really work to find what works for that particular client.
Where are these homes located?
They're all over the city of New Orleans. More so recently, we've had a lot in Gentilly, the Pontchartrain Park area. We also have some in the lower Ninth Ward. We're building, we have 3 more that have just been completed, new construction. In the coming months, we will be starting 10 more in the Gentilly area. That will also provide the clients with closing costs and up to $35,000 in down payment assistance. So we're really excited.
Yeah, and you should be. I noticed that a lot of these homes, or most of the homes that we're seeing on television right now as we're talking to you, are raised homes.
Yes.
So you do that on purpose.
Yes, we do. So all of our homes are always elevated above the base flood elevation, and that helps, of course, with the homeowner's flood insurance and making sure that in the event something is to happen, that they're going to be protected and covered as much as we can.
I know that part of the program also offers resilience training. What is that?
Yes. So what we learned over the years is that a lot of homeowners just didn't know what to do once a storm happened or once a disaster hit. And so we took it upon ourselves to begin to put together a training on these are the steps that you take when a disaster hits. These are the steps that you take prior to the disaster hitting. So that means, preparing your documents, collecting your documents, making sure that you have everything in line, you have them, in a safe place so that you can easily take them with you. Also, putting together disaster kits. And then being very aware of, contractor fraud. So we want to be able to offer this information. We have, done this training all over the U.S. in many different communities that have been affected, and we just want to kind of share the lessons that we've learned with others.
That's great, because that was one of the things that really caught a lot of us.
Yes.
It caught us off guard.
It did. We didn't know. We thought we were leaving for the weekend and we were going to come back to our homes. So we didn't know, hey, we should get our birth certificates and we should, get this, marriage license or whatever we may need, because we thought we were coming back. I know I packed for the weekend and I was gone for 3 weeks. And so it's very, very important that people understand what happens after and are just prepared for it.
We've talked a lot about purchasing homes. What if I'm not ready to purchase a home? I'm just interested in rental.
Okay.
So how can you help me there?
So we have a program for you too. We offer affordable rentals. You have to be at 60% or below. And so that's about $37,000 for a household size of 4. And what we do there is we make sure that your rent is not more than 33% of your income. We know that rent was exorbitant.
Yes.
Sometimes I think the statistic in 2014 for a 2-bedroom was like $948 a month. We work really, really hard to make sure that you're sustainable and that when you get in the home, you're able to manage it. So a 2-bedroom home for us right now is at an average of $506 a month.
Really?
Yes.
And you have some properties that are available.
Yes, we do have properties that are available. We have about 2 right now. I think we have about 3 more that are going to come online, and so that's definitely kind of like the starting rate. But we do have a lot of clients that are paying $506, and it does depend on your income. So if you make a little bit more, you pay a little bit more, but it's never to the exorbitant amount of $948.
All right, Ms. Delia King,
Yes.
SBP Inc. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, you too.
All right. When we return, we'll take a tour of some of the new energy-efficient homes featured in this year's Parade of Homes. Don't go far.
Saturdays at 2 p.m.
The Home Builders Association of Greater New Orleans is a professional organization representing the residential housing industry, serving our members and the community since 1941. I'm now joined by Mr. Frank Morse, president of the Home Builders Association. Hi, Frank.
How you doing, sir?
Not too shabby for old people.
I have to say that's good for both of us.
There you go. It's good to see you. It's always good to see you.
Same here.
So tell our viewers, what is the Home Builders Association?
The Home Builders Association is a 1,000-member group, and that is pretty much made up of associates, which are the suppliers and subcontractors, as well as others, and then builders and realtors and multifamily people, that allows us to be diverse in trying to promote the good for the entire industry. Mm-hmm. We have quite a few people from different functions of life that are in there, including attorneys and things of that sort. But what we try to do is take care of all the needs of our members through our interactions with the public and through legislative and congressional law.
So you're making sure that that things remain affordable, not only for the industry, but for the residents who look to the industry to provide shelter.
That's right. And pretty much that is a pretty heavy task today, is trying to create affordable housing that is going to be available to the most part of the constituents in all of the surrounding metropolitan area of New Orleans. As I said, land cost is a critical factor. Availability of housing that can probably be put back into commerce, which would be the blighted properties, especially in New Orleans, that are really not at this point being used for that purpose.
What's the issue with that? I've all of my years as a journalist, this has been a critical challenge, putting blighted housing back in commerce, and it seems to be insurmountable. What's the problem?
I think it's obviously the bureaucracy is part of the problem at any stage in anything. But the reality is that in the beginning, the pockets of blighted areas were trying to take those and put them out to people that are not even part of the community. We have many members in our organization that can contribute to the reproduction of these properties back into commerce. And the other thing is they were trying to do them in large blocks instead of small blocks, because usually, as we did in St. Bernard Parish, and St. Bernard Parish was very much a part of that, they literally did a 2 to 3 lot takedown, which then allowed these guys to go in and to make sure they were competitive, and then if it was successful, then they could move on, or if they weren't successful in making sure that they did the affordable numbers correctly, they could move on to something else. But that being said, in New Orleans, it's always been a problem trying to get them to break these things up into smaller blocks of properties. The other thing is making sure that would they use, especially our organization, to bring that promotional materials and bring that back into commerce, because if you're taking people from outside, especially the larger nonprofits, then all you have is somebody coming in that's going to be working with an entity that is controlling it, but also the money's being funneled back out. Whereas we would be keeping the money in New Orleans and then putting that money back into the revenues of the city.
Well, that seems to make sense, but you have to have the political will. So how do you compel the politicians
have a
to
seat
buy
at the table
this?
And let them hear the story.
Do you have an
understand.
organization that
Absolutely. Well, and our executive officer, John Luther, and I have been in touch even before Mrs. Cantrell is going to take office relative to this, and she understands that problem too, as well as do most of the council people. And I think that Cindy Wynn and others at Council Member Wynn and Council Member Head and those people, Council Member Palmer, who's coming in May.
Well, she's a developer herself.
And in that very right and affordable. So we have people who understand the issue, and I think it'll be a lot easier for us to be able to let them understand what we can do together to make sure that we can promote that in the future.
So is this part of the job of the Home Builders Association political action committee?
I would say that the political action committee is actually there to make sure that we have conversations with all of the people that are involved in politics around that, and that includes at a state and national level, to be honest with you. And as I had mentioned to you earlier, obviously affordable housing relates around housing finance reform as well, and it's all a part of this whole process. But the blighted properties in New Orleans, we have thousands. And
I know.
I think we're needing to promote that in a different sense and try to redevelop in a different sense than what we've done in the past.
So are you encouraged that you're going to get a foothold in that area?
We're hoping.
With this administration?
We're hoping, and we feel like we will be able to possibly have good conversations in the future and move beyond the stalemate of where we've been. So yes, sir.
Now you have a parade of homes coming up, right?
We do, yes.
So how does that play into this affordable housing?
I think the parade of homes. Well, there's a lot of great product out there, and from varied and different costs in St. Bernard, Orleans, Jefferson, and Plaquemines parishes, and they're from the affordable cost up to higher than that. And I think that it'll allow the community and its citizenry to see what's available out there and the different areas that they can go to find houses that could possibly be in their price range. But there's a lot of energy efficiency in the newer houses. There's home automation. So there's a lot of new product that's going into these houses to make them more efficient for the homeowner.
So this is a diverse parade of homes display.
Extreme, and it's always that way because everybody's going after a different market, and I think that what happens is, and the cost of land is obviously pretty critical in the sense of what the price range is going to be at the end of the day. But we have everybody that is involved in the parade of homes, all the fine builders that we have that are part of our organization, the media that we have that is going to promote it. I think that everybody is working toward having a successful two-weekend event, and which it'll be held on June 2nd and 3rd and the 9th and the 10th from 1 to 5.
So which communities in Orleans, Jefferson, and St. Bernard are we talking about?
I would tell you in St. Bernard it's going to be in the general middle of the parish. It's not to the extreme to the outside. Orleans Parish, I'm not sure. There probably will be some, I would assume, in Lakeview. Plaquemines Parish and Uptown. And then and we also have 2 historic renovations that also are going to be in the parade this year. Yes, sir.
Is that unique to this particular parade
It
of homes
is. It is
program?
because usually that's not going to be part of the parade of homes. As and I don't know that you've ever attended one, but
I have.
But most of the time it's going to be mostly new construction. So this is a new take.
So what are the current housing trends, Frank?
Well, as you and I already know, you can only change architectural styles so much. The styles are being adapted to more wind resistance, more ability to not be impacted by those forces that we know that nature has brought upon us, 10, 12 years ago. So the impact windows, shutters are becoming more prevalent. High energy efficiency with whether it be foam insulation or blown insulation, high efficiency air conditioning, bolting systems to bolt the house down to the ground and into the concrete. Those and it's many different fashions of that. 130 mile an hour rated shingles.
Wow.
There's a lot of new product out, and it has to be installed differently than the old product, but there's a lot of product and a lot of information. Automation, whether it be Alexa's incorporated into the house in the construction phase, or whether it be a lighting control system, automation where you can change your thermostat from your phone, look at your phone to see if anybody's at your door. Obviously, there with all the new product that's out there, that's also available. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and you know the good news is that even in the affordable housing, we can incorporate that, and at a cost factor that doesn't impact it in an extreme sense. That would hurt the value for the appraisal.
Now, what are the price ranges? Can you talk about that in terms of?
That's probably something I wouldn't know because I don't get involved in their individual home construction costs. But you know, it's hard to say. That varies every year. I know last year we had one that was close to $1 million, so it depends. But I really don't have the information with me.
But I can still buy a raffle ticket for the St. Jude Dream Home, right?
You could definitely buy a raffle, and actually that's one thing that we're very proud of is supporting the St. Jude Dream Home, which every year that's been a real strong draw because it's a great home. It actually is one that we all wish we could have, for sure.
Yeah, where is it this year?
We're at let's see, 6401 Avenue A in Lakeview.
Okay, so it's in Lakeview.
Yes.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a pretty,
So that's going to be an exciting one, and I think that one usually has a big draw because of all the product and all the interesting.
So this one's totally laid out. It's got everything.
And it usually is because it's also to let people see what you can really get if you go buy that raffle ticket, because we want you to buy those raffle tickets. And obviously there will be a winner.
No question about that. All right, Frank Morse, Home Builders Association of Greater New Orleans, thank you. It's always nice visiting with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck on your parade of homes.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right. We'll have more affordable housing matters coming your way when we return.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
We would like to thank Ms. Delia King of SBP and also Mr. Frank Morse of the Home Builders Association of Greater New Orleans. Remember, if you would like to rewatch this or any other episodes of Affordable Housing Matters, please go to WLAE.com and click on the programming link. There you can view all past shows of Affordable Housing Matters. I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm Norman Robinson. Have a good night.